Welcome back to the Saab channel. This video is going to be how to replace a worn speaker in a Saab 9.5. Now look, I still got this thing in here from the last job I did. As with any aging Saab, it's always out with the old and in with the new, or used rather. And oftentimes that can also apply to your door speakers. So while I flash the tools that you'll need to Saab along with us today, I'll talk a little bit about what causes things to go bad and what you might hear to indicate that your speaker is due for replacement. A lot of times it's with the foam on the speaker cover, and I'm no audio technician, so I don't know some of the technical terms, but what you want to look for is that this membrane on top is intact or ruptured. If it's ruptured, what you'll hear, as with this car, is a lot of vibration under bass and loud volumes. So it's been going on for a while with mine, and I just kind of got time to where I'm done dealing with it. So you can still get used speakers online on eBay. This one, being that my car is an Aero, I had to make sure it was the Harmon Kardon variety. It's from a little bit newer Saab. So basically, if you're still finding intact speakers, chances are they came from a newer Saab, and they'll go into these older ones just fine. Like this is from 2004, I believe, and it's going into a 2000. The mounting holes will have no issues. The only thing you have to do is just double check on whether or not you have the premium sound, which I use eSaab parts for that. As far as looking up the diagrams, I think it's a great resource. So basically what we have to do to get access to the speaker is remove this whole door card, which involves being very careful with this plastic trim. You can see mine's already cracked and cracking. I think I got a pretty big, yeah, there it is. Pretty big split right there. So this stuff is always brittle coming off. And they do not make this piece anymore. So if you break it, you're gonna have to make it work. Or find another one in a junkyard. But I'm gonna show you how I do it. The first step is crack a nice cold beer of your choosing. And then next is to pop the 3 covers that are hiding the 3 screws we need to remove. There's one up here underneath the door handle, and then 2 on the door pole. So get yourself a little screwdriver and work each of these 3 off. You can also try using a little hose pick or something of the sorts to get in these tiny little holes that hold these tabs on. Now we're going to remove the door handle. And now for the fun part. Let's make sure you say hello to your favorite beer before this. Can't quite say that one's my favorite, but I'll definitely say hello to it. Now for this, I'd recommend starting on this side as opposed to this side. Reason being is there's a tab right in here. There's 2-way tabs. There's a tab on this lower plastic part, and then there's a tab going down on this upper part that prevents you from taking it out. You can only pull it up. Now, someone learned the hard way on that with mine, and it's broken there, so I don't have that problem, but I'm still going to start over here so that way I can kind of show you guys how I do it. So what we're going to do is take a little screwdriver, and there's these little tabs on the back of this black plastic panel that we're going to try and pop away from the body of the car. And you can kind of feel them. There'll be areas where you'll get more resistance than others. See, like right here, it's really bendable. I know there's one up here somewhere. But a good one to start is with the one down here. And then just kind of feel your way around till you find the other one. But yeah, I want to say he's right up here. Alright, maybe mine's so brittle, I should just start where it's already broke and leave the good areas good. Now, there's one right up under here. There we go. You always wonder if it's the sound of the tab coming off or if it's the sound of the trim breaking. And the tricky one, which is why this often gets broken up here, as I'm demonstrating so well, how easily these things break, is right up in here. Jeez Louise. Now, I might be making this look worse than it is. I think mine being a Texas car, this is especially brittle, just from sitting out in the sun. Yeah, oh wow. Should be a treble tab right in here. Yep. And there's another one back up under here, which you often see broke in these cars. Okay, so for reference, your first hole is going to be a sort of push pin that's in the trim. When you come around, you got another tab right here that's on the, as I mentioned, that part that breaks pretty often. You have another one right up in here. And then right next to that, another. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tabs along the top edge, and then 2 on the trailing edge. And ends with a final push pin right here. And here's that plastic tab I was talking about that prevents you from pulling this thing directly out. So you got a push pin on each end, 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tabs that you have to pull. Now, that was only half the fun. We have to do the same for the rest of the trim that's holding the door card on. Now, last step is to unplug the courtesy light. Just simply pulls out. And your door card is free. Now, some of you might be wondering why I'm doing this with the window up. Ideally, you would have the window down. That makes this black piece right here much easier to come out. So those of you wondering that, it's because I'm dealing with a window roller issue, which I'm also going to fix while I'm in here, but that will not be in the video. What you mean? I want to know how to fix my window. Because the video is all about this guy. Now, let's take a look at our membrane here. And it doesn't appear to be in bad shape. Let's go ahead and replace it anyway. See if it doesn't fix my issue. Now, the speaker is held in by 3 10mm bolts. To unplug, we're just going to take a little screwdriver in here, pop that tab off. So we did good matching our part numbers. Old is on the left, new is on the right, or used rather. So let me just remove the plug that they cut off from the junkyard. Again, here you can see how the plug is held on there. It's just a little pry guy. Now I'm not sure what these two numbers signify. See this Yankee Alpha 04 and X-Ray Alpha 11? If anyone has any thoughts on those, please feel free to comment. But I'm going to put this new one in, and let's bump some royalty-free music to see if my issue is fixed. Alright, so I went and tested the speaker, and I have none of that low frequency buzz that I had before, which I don't know why, when it looks about the exact same condition as the one that was in there. So got my window issue fixed, so this thing is all ready to button back up. So now before putting the door card on, I'm going to make sure the window is down since I fixed my issue. That way all this stuff lines up nicely. And also, before I put the door card back on, I'm going to replace the courtesy light here with one that is LED. And look at that, I love seeing all the Swedish writing and labels on the inside of these things. And then once I do that, this door card will be ready to go back on. And the last step would be to replace the plastic trim up here, but in my case, I have to go to the junkyard and find a donor car. But small sacrifice to make to have a working speaker, a working window, and just a little LED touch. You gonna come help me mourn the loss of my black plastic trim here? So I hope that video helped, and stay sobbing everybody, with sound.